CIA on Wednesday released previously classified presidential briefings from the Ford and Nixon administrations. Those documents, totaling nearly 28,000 pages, were released at a public symposium at the Nixon Library in California. The presidential daily briefing represents the intelligence community's best analysis on national security threats and opportunities. Only one president, vice president, and a select group of senior officials received this very highly classified briefing. And Bill Plante is at the White House. Bill, so these daily briefings, these are the things that presidents were handed in the morning in the 1970s and 1980s. You've looked through these documents. What's most striking to you?
I tell you what, Tony, they go back as far as 1960. The first one to get them was President John F. Kennedy, and they sort of change for each president to adapt to the personality of the president. And the ones we got today were from President Nixon and President Ford. President Nixon's are just the facts, thank you very much. And in fact, he didn't read them very much. He put them away, or had his secretary, Rosemary Woods, put them away in a secure safe. And at one point, she handed back 2,000 pages of unread intelligence. But what these are supposed to be is a rundown from the CIA of the most important intelligence material that is developed overnight. And each president would tell the CIA what they want and in what form they wanted it. Nixon got his on paper. Ford, for example, was the first president to have the verbal briefing delivered by a CIA representative in the Oval Office. I'll tell you more about that, but you're up now.
So why were these briefings released to the public now, and how much is redacted? How much can we actually see?
Well, that's the thing, exactly. There was material released. It's been 40 years in some cases, so it's time these things are able to be released, but they're released in a very sanitized version. There are, for example, whole pages blocked out under the heading, "On the day of the coup in Chile in 1973. There is a heading on the briefing for Chile, and this is a coup that a lot of people believe the CIA had a hand in, overthrowing Salvador Allende, the socialist president there. So there's a heading Chile, and then there's about 4 inches of white space and nothing else. So that's what they call redaction, and there's a lot of it in these. But what does slip through is sometimes mildly interesting. But what's more interesting is the information that they put out today from the CIA briefers, who talked about how they interacted with the presidents.
I find it remarkable that Nixon didn't read his, and I find myself feeling badly for the people working on this document that they believed was going to the president each morning, missing family dinners and special occasions to deliver this all-important piece of material that just didn't get read. That is not a heartening detail. But I am curious to know what President Obama gets. Do we have any sense of how these past briefings compare to what President Obama gets today in the Oval Office?
Yeah, we do. It's the same thing. It's a rundown of the most important intelligence. But President Obama is the first president to get his on a tablet. And that tablet comes with links and references so that he can go deeper on any subject if he chooses to. And he's done that not since the beginning of his presidency, but since about 2014. And this is how he prefers to do it. And I would bet that that's probably the way it'll be going forward.
Very interesting. And I would bet that that tablet is not connected to the wider internet. That might be on what they call the sneaker net, just around the building.
Very secure tablet.
Thank you very much. Bill Plante.